أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. MashaAllah. How much energy from this section. On behalf of the Al-Ghazali College, that is let's start with the learners first, the educators, and of course the principal, Mr. Khan. I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely welcome our sister Shaadi. What does that mean, Shaadi? Is what? Mother of Shaadi, mother of Shaadi. Right? Shaadi is her son. This is Sister Farah, okay, from Palestine. And Alhamdulillah, we have so much to be grateful for. Today you are all sitting here, attending Al-Ghazali College. Your mummies kissed you this morning, am I right? Or they brought you to school and they gave you a lovely lunch pack and you are nice and comfortable. You had a break now. You went to the Atmosphere restaurant, some of you, and your bellies are now nice and full, okay? And inshallah, you'll go back to class after this session, and thereafter, your mummies or your daddies or your drivers will come and pick you up. You'll go home. There'll be a nice, warm lunch waiting for you. Hugs and kisses from mummy once again, daddy, and whoever it is. That's your life, am I right? That's our lives, okay? Am I right or am I wrong? Let me hear that. Right, okay, now you're going to hear a story now, which is true. It's happening currently, right? Now Shaadi, her son, here's his picture. He's now 14 years old, okay? He was arrested by the Zionist Israeli regime, the illegitimate Zionist Israeli regime. You know where? In occupied Palestine. And he was incarcerated, or he was put in jail, thrown into jail. He was tortured, okay? And Allah knows what happened to him, okay? The mother didn't even know that he was arrested until that evening, okay? Now he's in prison for 2 years, just giving you a background. He's now 14 years old, and only Allah knows when he'll be released from prison. And what crime did he commit? Nothing, absolutely nothing. Even if you talk against the illegal, brutal occupier, the oppressor, they will arrest you and lock you up in jail. So how fortunate are we? Can we all make shukr? Can we make dua for Shaadi, for his early release? Can we make dua for the mother, for Allah to give us sabr and to give us strength? Can we? Will you do that this afternoon, this evening? When you go home? When you're having your meal, when you're nicely tucked into bed and mommy comes and kisses you, good night, daddy gives you a hug, good night my child. She can't do that for Shaadi. Why? Why? Because he's in prison. He's in prison. Okay? So let me not now take up much of your time. I'm going to ask Sister Farah to address you, short and sweet, and she'll talk about her experience in this whole episode that they are going through at the moment, okay? And Sheikh Shuaib, you all know Sheikh Shuaib, he's from South Africa, he's not a Palestinian, right? Okay, he will do the translation. She'll speak in Arabic and Sheikh will do the translation, okay? Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام. أحبائي، أنا أم لطفل عمره 12 عام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The sister starts obviously by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sending salutations on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She greets you with Assalamu alaikum, and she said she is the mother of a young boy of 12 years old.
شادي اعتقل وهو عائد من المدرسة من القدس الشريف.
Says her son was arrested while returning from madrasa or from school in the city of Al-Quds, which is Palestine. While returning from school, he was picked up and arrested by the Israeli or the occupying soldiers.
كان يقف في محطة الباص عائد من مدرسته هو وزميله بعد مجزرة إحراق الطفل محمد أبو خضير وعائلة الدوابشة.
He and his friend were waiting at the bus stop, waiting to board the bus to get home, and this happened after the incident where the famous incident where a young boy was burnt and tortured also by Israeli occupation soldiers. Shortly after that incident, this way he was arrested there after waiting to board the bus with a friend of his.
كان يتحدث هو وزميله عن أنه يريد الانتقام لعائلة الدوابشة وأبو خضير. سمعهم مستوطن من المتدينين اليهود.
He and his friend were sitting while waiting, were talking how they're going to take revenge for that young boy who was burnt by the Israelis. They were talking about that, how we're going to take revenge. And a Jewish settler, who appeared to be somewhat a religious Jewish settler, overheard this particular conversation.
اتصل على القوات الخاصة وحضروا واعتقلوا شادي وزميله.
And this Jewish settler, while overheard this, phoned the authorities and then informed them of what these two boys were speaking about, and that's when the soldiers came in and arrested both these young boys.
نقلوه إلى سجن في القدس الشريف يسمى سجن المسكوبية وضعوه في زنزانة منفردة.
They immediately picked up the young boy Shaadi and placed him in the jail in prison near Al-Quds, and not only in normal prison or normal cell, they put him in solitary confinement. A young boy in solitary confinement, for those who don't understand, for the younger ones, that's to put a person alone in a cell. And normally those cells don't have any you don't have any sunlight coming in, the place is very, very dark, etc. So you put a young boy in solitary confinement in a cell, in a prison cell, all alone.
كان اعتقاله في 30/12/2015 30 نوفمبر. كان الجو بارد جدا، تم نزع ملابس شادي ووضعه في الزنزانة تحت التكييف التبريد طبعا.
He was arrested in November in 2015. Now, unlike us, the seasons differ. In November, while we have summer, they're having winter. So it was extreme cold. At times it goes below, the temperature drops below zero. It snows as well at times. So they made him removed all of his clothing and then put him into the prison without any clothing, with temperatures very, very cold, and like I said, in solitary confinement.
وتم حلق شعره.
And they shaved off all of his hair.
6 أيام شادي في هذه الزنزانة المنفردة.
For 6 days he remained in the solitary confinement.
وبعدها تم الحكم عليه بعد سنة من التحقيقات وسنة من المحاكم، تم الحكم عليه ب3 سنوات سجن.
After all of that, then they put him on trial, and then they found him guilty, and then the sentence he got was 3 years imprisonment.
وغرامة مالية و5 سنوات وقف تنفيذ بعد السجن.
In addition to the 3 years imprisonment, a monetary penalty, a fine that he had to pay, a monetary fine, as well as 5 years thereafter of some additional punishment which they were going to enforce upon him.
تعرفون كل هذا لماذا؟
She's asking, do you know why all of this kind of torture and punishment for this young boy?
لأن اليهود يريدون إفراغ المدينة المقدسة من المسلمين، لا يريدون أن يروا أي مسلم في المدينة المقدسة.
She says the one main reason is because the Jews want to clear the holy and the sacred city of Al-Quds of all Muslims. They want to remove all Muslims from the city of Al-Quds. So they make every effort to remove Muslims from that particular city.
كل يوم يحاربوننا في قوتنا اليومية في حياتنا، في كل لحظة نتعرض للخطر نحن وأطفالنا في القدس.
Every single day, she says, this is what we go through. We go through this danger and this continuous onslaught or this continuous effort to try and rid the city of all the Muslims. We go through it 24 hours a day, every single day we have to face this.
إسرائيل تتعامل مع المسلمين في القدس كما تعامل الأبطهار مع المسلمين ومع سكان جنوب إفريقيا. كما تعامل الأبطهار.
طيب. She said the Jews or the Israeli authorities, etc., treat the Muslims in Palestine exactly the same or even worse than what the people were faced here during the days of apartheid. So you can go home and ask your parents about what happened during the days of apartheid, and they give you an indication of what happened. You'll find she says that the treatment that the Muslims face every single day is worse or similar at times, or even worse than what we faced in the days of apartheid.
عندما أخذ أطفالي إلى المسبح فهناك يقولون لنا ممنوع دخول العرب إلى والمسلمين إلى المسبح. هذه فقط لليهود.
She says if she were to take her children for a swim to the swimming pool, they stopped them there and said, sorry, no Arabs, no Muslims around at the swimming pool.
كما نتعرض لهذه العنصرية كل يوم في محطات الباصات، في المواصلات العامة، في المستشفيات، في كل مكان.
This kind of discrimination, she says, we face every day at hospitals, at bus stops, where they prevent Arabs and Muslims from certain buses, from hospitals, etc.
أنا كل يوم أشتاق لشادي.
She said every single day she longs and yearns for her son Shaadi.
شادي طفل ذكي.
She said he's a young, intelligent boy.
هو حفظ القرآن داخل السجن.
He's amazing. He's memorized the Quran in jail. He's memorized the Quran. 12-year-old boy has memorized the Quran while in prison.
أشتاق لاحتضانه كل يوم كما تفعل أمهاتكم عندما تغادرون المنزل للمدرسة.
She says she longs and desires to hold him and hug him the way your mothers and fathers do that for you every single day.
كل يوم أتذكره وأنا أرى غرفته خالية إلا من ألعابه وكتبه وحقيبته المدرسية.
So every day she hurts and she cries when she sees his empty room, his empty bed. She sees his bag and his toys and all of those stuff lying around, the room empty. Every day she thinks about him when she passes this particular room of his, and she sees all of that.
من منكم يستطيع أن يبتعد عن أمه 3 سنوات؟
She says, who of us here is able to stay away from his mother for 3 years?
من منكم لا يستطيع أن يقبل أمه كل يوم؟
Who of us can go without kissing our mothers or fathers every day?
أشتاق لشادي ونحن على مائدة الطعام.
She says, I long for him and I miss him when we sit down to eat every night.
أحيانا أطفالي يقولون ماما أعدي لنا هذا النوع من الطعام ولا أعده لأن شادي يحب هذا النوع من الطعام.
She says sometimes her other children tell her, oh mom, why don't you prepare or cook this particular dish for us? She says, I can't because that food my son Shaadi liked. It hurts for me to prepare something like that. It brings back all his memories.
هذا حال الكثير من الأمهات، ليس أنا فقط. أنا أتحدث باسم الكثير من الأمهات الفلسطينيات.
She said this is the condition of many Palestinian mothers, not her only. There are many that go through this, so she's speaking to us here on behalf of all these thousands of mothers who experience similar things or even worse at times what she's going through.
هناك 300 أم لطفل. 300. 300.
No, this is the plight of the mother for her children.
يعانين نفس المعاناة. نحن بحاجة منكم إلى الدعاء.
Says we urge you and appeal to you to make dua.
أن تتذكروا أن لكم إخوان مسلمين في فلسطين، في القدس خاصة، والقدس تعرفون ما هي القدس؟ هي قبلتنا الأولى، مصر سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
She asked for dua, and more specifically because the dua for the land of Quds, the people of Quds. Know that you have brothers and sisters in the land of Palestine, the land of Quds. And what is Quds? She says, do we know the reality of Al-Quds? It's the land of the Anbiya. It's the land of where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went on for Mi'raj. It is a holy land. Every bit of that land is blessed and is noble and a special land. So it's not just another area or another country. It's a special area. It's Ardul Mubarakah, Allah refers to in the Quran, the blessed land.
ورسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن لم تستطيعوا ولكن أحفظ النص الحديث إن لم تستطيعوا أن تفعلوا شيء لأهل القدس فابعثوا بزيت يضيء بسراجها.
There's a hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ where he said that if you are not able to do anything for Palestine, for Al-Quds, if you can't physically do anything, then at least send some oil with which the lamp or the lanterns can be lit. Meaning that means we have to do something regardless what. Even if it means you can't physically be there, send something that even a lantern can be lit. Now they're not maybe using lanterns today or oil toward which they're going to light lanterns, but whatever else they need, whatever else could assist the people, we need to support and assist in any way possible.
الدفاع عن القدس واجب على كل مسلم، ولكن بما أنكم بعيدون نحن أخذنا على عاتقنا الدفاع عن القدس والصمود فيها إلى آخر نفس، حتى ولو على جثث أطفالنا ودمائهم.
She said, which is very important, defending Al-Quds of Masjid Al-Aqsa is the responsibility of every Muslim. That's the responsibility of every Muslim to defend Al-Aqsa. But because, yes, we are far, so she says, the least we can do, they have taken on the responsibility of defending it, being close by, and they sometimes have to sacrifice their lives and their children and their family members, all for the sake of defending Al-Quds.
أرجوكم لا تنسوا القدس، لا تنسوا أطفال القدس، تحدثوا فيما بينكم كل يوم.
Said, I am pleading to you and to all of us that don't forget Al-Quds, don't forget the children of Al-Quds, don't forget the people of Al-Quds. Every single day, let us take our time and make dua, speak amongst ourselves about the plight of children our ages, speak at home with our families and friends and parents, speak about the plight of the children and the adults and the people in general about what's going on in Al-Quds. In other words, we need to create a greater awareness amongst ourselves.
لا تنسوا شادي من دعائكم.
Don't forget her son Shaadi in our du'as as well.
أتمنى لكم حياة رائعة ومحبة وسلام تنعمون بها مع أهلكم.
She says, I hope and I wish that you all have a good life, a life with your families, a life with your happy and joyous life with your families, with your friends, and a profitable one and a beneficial life as well.
أشكركم على استماعكم.
She thanks us all for giving her our time and listening to her.
أنا منذ وصلت إلى جنوب إفريقيا شعرت أني بين أهلي.
She says since she's arrived in South Africa, she feels like she's amongst her family, between family. She was received very, very warm by the people of South Africa. She feels that she's among family.
غمرتوني بمحبتكم.
She said people have just poured out their hearts and love to her.
أشكر كل الشعب الإفريقي على هذه المحبة الكبيرة التي يكنها لنا.
She says she thanks the country or the people of South Africa for all of this affection and this love that they've shown to her.
الحرية لشادي.
She says we all should wish for freedom for Shaadi, that he's released as soon as possible.
الحرية للقدس الشريف.
And freedom for Al-Quds, Masjid Al-Aqsa and Al-Quds.
وشكرا لكم.
She thanks one and all. Jazakumullah.